Hey, how's it going? Checking in with today's daily update. And this afternoon, I had an exciting experience. I took my daughter Fern to her new school, secondary school, where she's starting in September. They had like a parents' day, parents' evening thing, just to, I guess, kind of orient us as well as their kids to what's happening next year with the setup and the layout and how it all works and how different it is to primary school and all of those things. So we spent a couple of hours there together going through all that, and it's all very exciting, all big changes, and I'm sure lots of lots of stuff for me to get stories out of the whole kind of change, big steps forwards, progress, and all those things. Lots of lovely stories for emails and articles and blogs, and probably stories for talks in there as well. How we cope with change and so on. But anyway, the rest of the day I was down in Bicester. I went over to the Perch again to do some work out of their wonderful co-working space, and I kind of went with again a very structured plan as to what I wanted to do, what I wanted to achieve, and there were three very closely connected things that I wanted to do, and I want to talk about one of them in particular in today's daily update. And those three things, among other things, were to spend some time writing the book, or at least still in the planning process of the book. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on that. I wanted to spend a bit of time on preparing the workshop, which I'm planning on giving at the end of September. And the third thing, which is, I think, a fairly significant departure from how I usually do things, and the thing that I want to talk about is I wanted to start mapping out a brand new talk, even though I don't actually have a deadline for it. I don't have a specific reason for preparing this particular presentation. And the reason that's significant for me is because I normally find, or I've always told myself at least, that I have to have a deadline to work towards before I can create anything like that. I have to have a deadline, even if it's like, well, it's never a self-imposed deadline. It's always, all right, I've got to talk on this date, and I want to have a talk prepared at least a week in advance, and then I want to have that final week to tweak it, to change it, to rehearse it, to practice it, and to prepare it properly. So that's kind of how I work. It's normally a mad rush at the end, thinking, oh, I wish I'd only had a few more days to prepare, but I kind of cram it and really work hard at it, and it normally turns out okay. So the reason this is completely different, because I've basically got no pressure, and I think this is a huge departure for me, because I'm used to performing under pressure, and there's all sorts of been written about performing under pressure, kind of keeping it cool, making sure that you go through the motions, you focus on the process, and all of those things. I've talked about that for years. It's been a big thing that I've talked about, and many other experts have covered as well. But this whole idea of performing without pressure is something that's completely new to me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's certainly for this particular context. In this context, it is. When I've written my book in the past, I guess I've given myself some pressure by self-imposing a deadline, so it's going to be launched by this date, and it doesn't really matter if it overruns. Other pieces of work that I've written is what I've created as well. Have been, I guess, self-imposed deadlines, but this is the first time I've done it with a talk, and it feels kind of weird. It feels quite liberating, actually, to feel like I'm coming up with something without that deadline, and it's something new for me. It's a new process. It's a new way of doing things, and I literally have started it today. I guess the one thing I haven't got yet is a proper deadline for it. So why the heck not? Let's just give it a deadline now. Let's say 21 days, 3 weeks. So 3 weeks from today, which is going to be, what's the 17th today? So that's going to be into August. That's going to be August the 6th, I think, something around that sort of time. So August the 6th, I will have this presentation finished. I think I'm going away at the end of July, but you know what? No excuses. I'm going to make it happen. So there we go. I've created a deadline. Let's see if I can make it happen. I talked about this a little while ago in one of these videos, and I said, I don't think I'm quite ready to commit to it in these videos yet, and so I didn't, and I kind of went away, and I obviously thought about that, and thought about why can't I commit? Why Why am I unable to do things this way just because I've always done things the other way, as in with a deadline, needing that pressure? So I figured try something a little different. And this is a really key thing that I'm noticing, that I have ways of doing things. I have ways of doing things, like we all have ways of doing things, right? But that's not always to say that they are the best ways. And just because you've always done something in a particular way doesn't mean it's the only way that you can do things. And if you look back over your life, and I certainly look back over my life, and I think, well, some of the things that I've managed to do that I never thought I'd be able to do, or some of the things that I've learned and changed in my approaches to many things over the years. And why should this be any different? Just because it's a way you've done things for however many years doesn't mean it always has to be that way. So I'm trying something different. I'm committing now 21 days. I will have this full 45-minute keynote presentation ready to deliver, even though I have nobody at this point to deliver this exact talk to. And I may never deliver it, but hopefully it will form the foundation of something that I can deliver. And it's going to be on the same subject as the book and the workshop. It's going to be on the subject of helping people do more of the things that they already know how to do. And I've kind of mapped it out already. Spent about 40 minutes today working on it. So just kind of the first mind map, dipping my toe in the water, getting the first few ideas down there, structuring it at a very kind of high level, looking at objectives, looking at some of the exercises, looking at some of the stories that I want to share, looking at the main points that I want to get across in the talk. And I've got it pretty much, well, there's a lot of detail still to put in there, but I've got the structure and I've got the plan. So there we go, 3 weeks. Let's see what happens. I'll keep you posted with the progress on that one. Anyway, that's my check-in for the day. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep updated with my progress over the course of 2018 towards establishing myself as a motivational well-being speaker. That's always been the kind of the goal of these little videos, has been to chart that progress. Obviously, if any of the videos particularly resonate with you and you've enjoyed watching them, maybe you've taken an idea away from them, then like the video, maybe leave a comment, get involved as well. It's always good to have little conversations in here as well. And I'll be back again with tomorrow with the next daily update. Bye for now.